This is a review of the HP Pavilion 15-E000SA laptop. It's, as you can see, a quad-core A8 processor. This is the new AMD Richland processors, which are slightly faster than the previous ones and have a built-in Radeon graphics card. In this case it's 8550. There's a 1TB hard drive and 4GB of RAM, and it also comes with a DVD drive for reading and writing, and Windows 8. The laptop has a smooth finish. It's plastic though rather than metal, which again cuts costs a little bit, but it keeps it fairly lighter than it perhaps would be. And as you can see, the screen's quite thin. It's not too flexible. I was worried with the plastic it would be. It does flex a little in the middle, but not too much. On the left, you can see a big air vent, which it needs for expelling the air. It doesn't get overly hot. I've not had to use the laptop pad for it. We have a VGA port, HDMI, 2 USB 3 ports, a headphone socket which also takes a microphone input if you have a dual input, and an SD card reader, which is actually fairly fast. Coming around the front, there's nothing there. It's a fairly thin display. On the other side you have your DVD drive, another USB port, USB 2 port this time, and an Ethernet port, and the power with a little power indicator there. There's nothing on the back at all. Inside the laptop you have a standard keyboard with a keypad. It's a nice keypad actually for typing on, although some people don't like the way that HP make these directional buttons. They're all kind of set into the main keypad. However, I tend to use an external keyboard, so it doesn't really make much difference. The trackpad has got two big buttons that are fairly responsive, although the trackpad itself sometimes seems to stick. I've read that this is quite common on these ones. There's no fingerprint input to keep the costs down. However, it does have a nice DTS soundbar on it, which provides a surround sound. And it's not bad, the response to it. It's not going to feel like it's coming from behind you, but it does a good job of making the sound appear from left and right, and almost down to kind of the front of the laptop. So it works quite well. So let's turn it on and see how long it takes to boot up. And this one's booting up from cold, so it takes a little while, but it's not too bad. It's fairly responsive. And here we go. Straight into the Windows 8 menu. This one comes with Windows 8 rather than 8.1. You need the free update to 8.1, as this ships with just the standard 8. Going to the desktop's fairly responsive, as you can see. Let's load Internet Explorer. Yeah, fairly speedy. The AMD A8 actually works quite well, and is surprisingly fast for the price of the laptop at £400 or so. I've actually tried quite a few games with it, and they seem to work quite well as well. Here you can see the details of the laptop. We'll look at the Windows experience in detail in a minute, but you can see the A85550. The Radeon graphics are 8550, as I said earlier, and the speed of the machine is 2.1 GHz, though that is turbo boosted to 3.1 GHz for intensive work. The installed memory is 4 GB, but you can only use 3.19 because the rest is used by the graphics, as they're integrated rather than dedicated. And let's have a look at the Windows experience. As you can see, the thing that brings it down is the desktop graphics, which is actually a kind of false figure, because they're very responsive, and the gaming graphics at 6.2 are actually pretty good for the price. We've tried games like Borderlands 2 and Skyrim on this, and they run in medium to high to fairly good frame rate. Other games, more recent games, run at low settings, but still run fairly well. The hard disk isn't overly fast, but it's pretty much perfect for everything you need it for. At this point, if buying a £400 laptop, you pretty much know what you're getting, but it actually does surprise you in some areas. On the base of the unit here we have the battery, which is easily take-outable. You also have a little screw here which lets you take off this whole of this back panel and lets you get to the memory and the hard drive and the DVD drive if you want to swap it out. I believe you can swap it for a Blu-ray drive if you want to. The memory is in two sections, so you can actually upgrade it to 8 gigabytes. And you can get faster memory. The AMD processors tend to work better with dual memory, so if you get two of exactly the same, it tends to work faster. The only other thing here is this little Windows 8 logo. Overall then, this laptop is pretty good for the money. It can run some fairly recent games. It can handle most everyday activities. It looks smart, it's not too heavy. If you don't mind the plastic casing on the outside and, as I said, these directional buttons here, it's actually pretty good.